Hello, hello. How's everybody? Just wanted to come say hi, and I just wanted to talk to you. Well, actually, first of all, I wanted to say thank you to everybody for your kind thoughts and being there with me when I with the loss of my dog Scarlett. Um, I'm actually pretty good. Hi, Kristen. Nice to see you. Um, Scarlett had been with us for 15 years, right? So like she was with me since she was a puppy, and she was just really old, and it was just really hard for her. She was really tired, and it was really difficult to let go of her. Um, but as she left this earth, um, I saw her. I saw her like because this happened outside. So I saw her back by the bushes, and it's kind of funny because I was trying to think today, like how to explain this. Because when I say I see her or I see something, I don't actually see like with my eyes. I see more from here, right? So I saw her in the back of the bushes, and she looked younger, right? She looked. That's how we all look when we passed. Like we looked younger. We looked at our best selves, basically. So that's how she looked. She looked like almost like a puppy, but not a puppy. Like she had like all her energy, her darker fur. She looked much younger, and um, it was interesting because I saw her and I knew she had passed already, and I had this sense of peace when I saw her over there. And then the doctor went and was looking for her heartbeat, and she was going in different places, and then I started thinking, oh, she's not there, like, and I started questioning myself about what I had seen. And then of course she said there's no heartbeat, and she had passed, and of course I already knew that. But this brings me to the message that I wanted to tell you and to share with you today, um, about trust, and the trust of all these little messages and these little um, things, signs that we get, that we have been getting all of our lives, probably, and we just dismiss them because we have been told that they're not possible, or it's not real, or um, it doesn't go with our religious beliefs or whatever it is, right? So this is one of those things, and it just came up, and I just had to come and talk to you about it because a lot of these things that we as healers, and basically everybody, even if you are not aware that you are a healer yet, um, but you are aware of certain things, right? So we all have this, and we've always had them, and it's just I just wanted to talk about how it is, or how it is for me, right? So that you start to pay attention and you don't dismiss it. So that you start, the more you pay attention to it, the more you get more in touch with your own higher self, with your own intuition, and you start to be more connected, and then to start living at a better, at a higher frequency, which is where this is, right? Um, because we are living in this three-dimensional physical body. So because we're in this three-dimensional body, we are in a lower frequency, and when we're in spirit, we are a higher frequency because we are not confined in the physical body. So that's what I mean by that. Um, so yeah. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is like um, all of these little things that you may have, that you may think about, and like, and even like for people that I know that are completely not into this, or open to healers or this type of things like mediumship or psychic or anything like that, and I hear them talking about things, and I know, and now like it makes sense to me, and I understand what's going on, and they have no idea this is happening because they're not open to that yet, right? So let's say my sister, for example, she loves doing dishes, and I hate it, but that's besides the point. She loves doing dishes, and she says it relaxes her, and she's always it just brings some peace to her, and she loves the whole repetition movement that she's doing, and that's the type of meditation. So I joked about it to her the other day, and I told her, have fun in your meditation, and she laughed about it, but I was, you know, I actually meant it, right? Because that's what she's doing. She is connecting with herself. She's receiving messages while she's doing the wishes, doing the dishes, this repetitive movement of washing and cleansing and all of that. And she has this peace and quiet when a lot of us don't have the peace and quiet or even the time to do things. And these little chores that we do, that we perform at home, that we usually do, these are part of our meditation part, right? That we're starting to tap into. And what else did I want to say? Oh, okay. I wanted to tell you this story about when I was a child, right? So when I was a child and something happened, like somebody got hurt, I would physically feel that pain in my body, and it would come really quickly, like almost like, I don't know, I can't really explain it, but it would just like come really quickly and then go, and I would like pay attention to it and feel it. And as kids, when we have all of these little things, whatever it is that you have that might, obviously be different than mine, um, we just think that everybody has the same, or it's just common, or everybody has that. Or if you think it's not common, you just don't talk about it because, you know, who are you going to talk about this? How are you going to explain this? Like, I'm an adult now, and I'm been doing a lot of healing work, and I'm having trouble explaining it. So imagine not knowing what it is, not knowing what you're feeling, but you're feeling this, and how do you explain it? How do you talk about it? Who do you talk to about these things? And then you just end up dismissing it, right? So a lot of these things happen. And now that I have opened up to my gifts and I'm using them, I have learned that that feeling that I get when I see somebody get hurt, um, or even talk about somebody having been hurt, or even just talk in a fictional way about, oh, imagine if you break this arm this way, and I, like, right now I'm feeling my arm, right? Like, oh, like I just feel this tingling around it. So just talking about it. But so now that I am doing this healing work, I understand that that is one of my gifts. By me feeling into the pain of the person that I'm working with, I'm able to remove it or pull it from that person, and then run it through my body and with the energy, and then send it back either to Mother Earth or to divine light, and kind of and release it. So this is how I work a lot when I'm working with physical pain in a human body. Um, or actually, I should say a three-dimensional body because I suppose I can do this with an animal as well. But so that's the way it works, right? For me. And I know there's other people who have these little feelings and thoughts that they feel it. And if you're not open to this type of modalities, then there's a lot of other things that you're going to be thinking. For example, you could think that you're going crazy, or that there's something wrong with you, or that you can look up some type of medical explanation to it that is not going to give you um, a satisfactory answer. It's going to give you something like, yes, there's something wrong with you, and here's some pills, and this will get rid of it. Kind of like the same thing with schizophrenia. A lot of people who have schizophrenia or think they have it, or they hear voices, they're actually hearing um, spirits, and people who have passed and things like that. And then they hear voices. That's a lot of times that's what it is. And when we are denying that, we're denying that information, or allowing us to hear what this really is, and provide that communication. Then we start thinking, well, what could this be? I must be crazy. And then you go down that other path and you start getting medicated, and medication starts numbing you, and then the voices continue to happen, and it's a whole cycle. And then a lot of times you just don't get better because that's not what it is, right? So these are things that are happening and that people are being aware of. And because we don't know who to go to, where to get help, um, who to speak with about these things, because people are going to think that you're crazy because you're thinking you're crazy, right? Or stuff like that, or that you're sick, or there's something wrong like that. Then these are the reasons that I wanted to bring this up, because I don't know how people are waking up or are starting to feel into their gifts, or connecting with their higher selves, right? We're all different. We all have our own different things. So I'm just giving you examples of what I have personally and what I know from other people um, that I have met, and they have shared their stories with me while I'm working with them and things like that, so that I can start opening up your mind, and you can start thinking about all of these experiences that you may have been having all along, right? So there was something I wanted to tell you also when I was a child. Oh, well, I think I was 12, and we were living at a friend's house at the time, and I saw this shadow shape of a person, and it was like a shorter. I've shared this with some people before. It's like a shorter, kind of like on the heavy side person, and the first thought I had was my grandpa. It was like, but it was my first thought because I thought, who do I know that kind of fits that bill, right? Of being like about this size and about this big, and who might have passed because of their age. So all of those thoughts that I had were thoughts that came from my mind. But the first immediate thought that I had when I saw it was somebody passed, and it's somebody I know, and I need to figure out who it is. So I remember being very upset and thinking that he was my grandfather. Not that I was that close to him, but I wanted to tell my father about it, and I had to wait till I saw him, but then I had to wait till the right time to ask him, to see if he could ask and call and see if he was okay, and like that type of stuff, because I wasn't telling them that I saw anything. I just wanted to have the confirmation that he was okay or that he wasn't, right? And then I think it was like at least 10 days before I got my confirmation that he was actually okay. He hadn't passed because my father called him or something. And then I thought, oh, I was wrong. But then again, still, I didn't tell anybody about this experience, because who am I going to talk to, right? And then another 3 weeks went by, and we received a letter, and it happened to be one of my mother's friends, and she fit the bill. And the letter talk it was letting us know that this lady had passed. And as soon as we got the letter and she told me, I was like, okay, I knew that that was the person, that was the spirit, that was the energy that I saw. And so then I finally got my confirmation that I had actually seen somebody that I knew that had passed. And I was young, right? And again, I never talked about this to anybody until, like, I guess now. um, so I just want you to start thinking about little things that may have happened in your life, or that you can start making those connections, so that you see and realize what these little things that are kind of hiding in plain sight, is what I call it, are your actual hits, or your actual intuition that is telling you and showing you um, what your gifts are, so that you can start opening up to them. And I kind of lost my train of thought here, but let me think. Sorry, a little late. Um, but it's kind of like what is it that has happened in your life that you might have had a thought even when you were young, now, especially now, because a lot of people are waking up and starting to get more of these hits and stuff, and that is because so many people are waking up and are starting to believe in their gifts and searching for places and people that they can share this with and where they can grow and they're able to talk about it. And because there's so many more people as a collective in the whole entire world rising to this level right now, it's making it easier for everybody else to see, to hear, and to feel all of the things that they're able to see. So yeah, so that was one of the oh, hi Tao, I didn't know you were here. Hi Andrea. Oh gosh, I'm getting my messages now. I had only seen Kristen. Hi. um so glad to see you guys here. Thank you for being here and supporting me. um but yeah, so that was one of the things that I wanted to really bring out, to so that you can start looking into these little things, these little messages that you're getting that you might just be dismissing as everyday nothingness. And right before this, my son actually fell asleep quite early today. Okay, 8:30, not early, but sometimes it takes me longer. And I was just listening to something with the lights off, and I could see all of this kind of like balls or shadows or movements in my room. And I'm just laying there thinking and feeling like, okay, like, yeah, I know you're here, but like, not really tapping into what it is, who it is, or anything, but like just acknowledging that it's something that is not out of this three-dimensional world, right? And you acknowledge it, and it just keeps happening, right? So as soon as you acknowledge it, it could, it opens up to more. Oh, and this brings me to the topic of fear, right? Because all of these things about tapping into your intuition or your psychic abilities or mediumship or whatever it is that you have, which a lot of us have a lot of them, right? Not just one. Um, it's nothing to be afraid of, because the energies that you are bringing or that you can connect with, that you want to connect with, I should say, are all at a higher frequency, like they're all love frequencies. So it's nothing to be afraid. You're not going to bring in like what's being commercialized about things that you need to be scared of, or like hunted or stuff like that. You when you're trying to do these things, you set the intention to connect with the highest vibrations, and only the ones that are there for the good, right? So for the good of everybody. So these are the types of things that you want to be tapping into and asking for, because nothing else will come in, and there's nothing evil about it, and there's nothing scary about it, right? I know it could be scary because it's just new, and if you're just tapping or studying in this type of stuff, this I know it could be scary, because if you're not used to it, or you don't talk about this or think about this, or you don't have a community to talk about this type of stuff, yeah, it's lonely, it's scary. So that's what I'm here for. And there's a lot of people, a lot of healers out here in the community that you can tap into or ask for help, whomever you feel comfortable with, because once you start talking about it and accepting these little things, these little voices that you're listening to, then that's how you start opening up to your own intuition, right? So all of this happens with a lot of support, and you need that support, because otherwise it's just you with your thoughts, and your ego is always going to tell you that that's what it is, that it's just a thought, or that you're crazy, or that there's something wrong with you, because that's what society tells you. Which brings me to the second thing I wanted to talk about, which this came from a couple of days ago, but then I had the whole thing and dealing with my dog, so I didn't come on to talk. But this message about love. Yes, Brandy says, so great for our community. Yes, it's amazing having a community that it's everything really. But this message is about love, and I think I've told you guys before that I don't watch the news, and when at all. And when something happens, there's enough people out there, or even in here, um, who post things, and then that's what alerts me to, oh, something happened again. And when I'm talking about something happening, I'm talking about something negative, right? Because that's what the media usually tells us. They're not going to tell us the good, happy, old, jolly stories because that's not what sells. So it's only the negative things that are usually brought out, and this is why I don't watch it. And I'm very, very, very open to the energies and sensitive to them. So, like right before the elections, I was feeling really drained. Like 3 o'clock, I just wanted to lay in the couch and not do anything and fall asleep. And I was like, what is wrong with me? Like I was feeling like there was something wrong. Then I realized the elections were like the next day or so. And I was like, oh, that's what it is. I am absorbing all of these energies from the collective, from everybody around me. And I don't mean around me, my house. I mean like my town, my city, or even the country, right? I'm absorbing all of these energies of what the people are feeling. And that's what was driving me down, dragging me down, I should say. And so then once I realized that, I was like, okay, who does this belong to? Is this mine? And as soon as I said that, whoosh, it was away. Then I know that's not mine. And this is what was dragging me down. And then all of a sudden, like as if by magic, because that's what this is, magic, um, it was like this whole weight was lifted of me. I woke up, I had energy, and I was like, I can't believe this. I cannot believe that all of this me weighing me down was because I was absorbing all of this lower energies from the whole, from the collective of all these people who were feeling so anxious and angry and all of that stuff that happened around that. So now the last thing that happened was the attacks on the Asian people, which was I also didn't know anything about it, but people were writing about it, so I actually went and Googled it because I wanted to know what they were talking about. And then I was like, okay, so here it is again, right? Some more negative news of what's happening. And so here's my message of how to combat it, right? Because when we see these injustices and these things happening in the world, right, and especially in our country, right, because that's what we live in, we tend to do two things, right? So number one, we have empathy, right? And when we feel empathy, we start to feel badly for the victims and what happened, and angry at the people who are creating this uh, turmoil, right, in the world. And the other thing that we can start to feel is just angry in a way that we start to give out anger to other people, right? So you'll find this like on social media when people post something and then people will start the thread and they will start going back and forth with each other and having this whole fight with total strangers that you don't even know. So what happens with that is that the more you put thought into this and action and words, verbiage, right? The more you feed into the fire. You are feeding that fuel. And sometimes we just can't help it, right? But the message that came through, and this is what I usually do, is to just be and give love, because love really is above everything, right? Love is pure, love doesn't judge, and love accepts anything and everything, and it just is. And so once you do that, once you are able to get to that point of being like, okay, this is happening, and instead of reacting, instead of putting my energy there, instead of feeling bad, not that I'm not saying not to feel bad, but I'm just saying instead of feeling bad and like bringing yourself down with it because you're feeling it, give love. So you start to give love, and as you're giving love, which is a very high frequency, you start to rise the frequency of those around you and everyone who is um, affected by what's happening and what everybody's watching, right? So now just imagine, right? Everybody who sends out love can reach this is the minimum, and I don't remember where I got this number from, but it's a scientific number that from somewhere that I saw. Everybody can reach 350,000 people. So when you become love and you radiate that love to just around you and your home and your neighborhood and your town and your state and wherever it is, wherever you are sending that love and you're reaching all of those people as a minimum, then all of those people are rising their frequency, and then in turn they are either continuing to pass on that love frequency, or they're stopping whatever other frequency that is lower than that they're at. So you're raising the collective frequency to a love connectancy. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense to you, because it totally makes sense to me. Oh, hi, Krista. So nice to see you. Um, so that's the frequency that we all want to be in, right? The frequency of love. That's it. That's the simplest way, and that's one of the things that one of the ways that I work with as well is that I work with the frequency of love, and I work with the frequency of the archangels, and they're always here, like they're right here, right now. And if they're here with me, they're here with you as well, right? Because we can be everywhere at the same time. I'm getting off my subject. I can feel it because I have like this just little thing right here of my head going, yeah, you need to talk about this, and I just can't think of what it is. Um, I just want to make sure that I put it down. So when you are becoming love and you're sending that love frequency out there, it stops the hate. Okay? And it may seem like, yeah, that's not doing anything, but it actually does. And I have an example, and that's what needed to come in. So this actually happened to me before COVID, obviously. I was driving to visit my sister, so it was like a really long drive. And as I'm driving, I was in one of those roads that is just like one car. It's like not two lanes. And um, this lady in front of me stopped, like she like kind of like jammed on her brakes, and it made me stop. And I was like, oh, and then and I was like, oh, like this, right? And I went up like this with my hand, like because I was like, whoa. But it was really just like me, like being like um surprised at the fact that she stopped. And then I saw that she was letting somebody go, some person walk or something, like cross in front of her. And I was like, oh, okay, that's why she stopped, because I didn't understand why she had stopped in the middle of the road. And then that was it. But this is kind of funny because my reaction was of like, I'm surprised that the car is stopping, and I almost crashed. And it was like, whoa. And I raised my hand. And she thought that I was raising my hand at her, like giving some type of gesture. And you guys can use your imagination to figure out what it is that she thought. So I see her through the mirror, talking to me through the mirror, and making all kinds of like, like things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, is she talking to me? She's mad at me, right? And I was like, oh gosh, like what, like I wasn't talking to her, but of course I cannot communicate with her because I'm in my car and she's in her car. So then we're driving a little bit more, and then we get to a red light, and then so we stop. And as this is happening, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this lady's like really mad at me, and like I didn't even say anything to her, and like all these thoughts are coming through my head. And then my thought is, how do I change this, and how do I communicate to her that this is nothing against her, right? And the thought came to me like, well, use love, because love conquers all. So that thought comes to me as we stop at the red light, and what happens? She gets out of the car. So she gets out of the car, opens the door, and starts, yelling at me from her car. And I had just had that thought of love conquers all. So I looked at her and I smiled, and then I blew her a kiss because that's so, and I smiled at her, right? And I waved, and it completely disarmed her. She was like, "What just happened?" And then I saw her like she was all giddy and like started like laughing and got in the car and closed the door and drove off. And I was like, huh, it does work. You see, love does conquer all. So no matter how bad the situation, it really does work, guys. You just have to believe in it, and you have to use it. You have to remember it. So yeah, that's a true story. Not making this up. Um, of how to use love in a to diffuse a situation and to just really disarm it, right? Because we are all in this world, and it just seems like everybody is on, like, people are coming to get me type of thing, right? So anything that happens, I'm on the defensive right away. I'm gonna fight back, and nobody's going to do anything to me, right? That seems to be the collective. And when we give love, when we are love, when we become love, and we show others what that is, it can be very powerful, right? And now, you start thinking about all of those things that happen with the riots, with, like, the people hugging the police and all of that stuff, right? Imagine, like, that is the power of love. That is what I'm asking you to be. So I want to do just a little bit of energy work right now with everybody who's here, or everybody who's watches this later. So let's do a little bit of energy work so that we can all get some of that wonderful, beautiful feeling of love and acceptance into us. And then we're going to expand that to the world around us, okay? And you're going to see and feel how much better you feel, and how it changes your perspective around wherever it is that you're living, because your love will radiate, and it will raise the frequency to everybody around you where you are. Okay, so if you're here and you're ready with me, take a deep breath in and exhale out through your mouth. And let's take another deep breath in and inhale all the love. And exhale all the lower frequencies in your body. And let's do one more deep breath in. And let's hold it up here until you cannot anymore. And let it go. Anything you don't need. And now I want you to open your crown chakra, which is above here on your head. So I imagine it as a beautiful, beautiful daisy that's closed up because it's a young spring daisy, and it opens all its petals outwards, all around to the sun. And that's how I open my crown chakra. So open up your crown chakra and allow that divine light to come in through your head. And we're going to run this through our body one time. Come down through our throat and our chest. That's our heart chakra. Expand our heart and move it down to your belly and your thighs, your knees, all the way down to your tippy toes. We might need to do this one more time. Bring it back up from your toes, your legs, your body, your head, all the way up to divine light. Let's do it one more time. Bring divine light through your head, a little bit faster this time. Your body, your legs, all the way down to your tippy toes. Yep, that's better. And bring it back from your tippy toes up your legs, your body, your head, all the way up to divine love. And now expand this beautiful divine love energy right outside your body. So it's just swirling around your body. And this is the beautiful pink light. It has a very, very, very high frequency of love. Expand that to the room you're in. Expand that to your whole home, apartment, wherever it is that you're living. Expand that to your block, your town, your state, your whole country, and the earth. And just give out your love to anyone, everyone, and everything that needs it. That's beautiful. And let's bring that back. Just come back to your body. When you're ready, take a deep breath in and breathe out through your mouth. That was awesome. Thank you. Thank you for being here, guys. Thank you. Yes, definitely feeling you, Pao. Oh, hi, Tia. Hola, Tia. That's my Tia Ali from Chile. See, it's all around the world, people. All around. Don't you feel better? Don't you feel lighter? I feel so much lighter. I feel like literally like I'm floating in air right now. And that is the energy that we as a collective are creating and giving out to the world. So remember that when you're feeling down or you're looking at this news for whatever reason, I don't know why anybody would look at the news. Okay, I'm not kidding. But if you're looking at that and it's bringing you down and it's giving you fear, okay, remember who you are. And remember that love really does conquer all. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I love you so much. Thank you for being here with me. Sending you hugs, kisses. Oh, thank you. Hi, Brandy, and bye, Brandy. Thank you so much. I love you so much, everybody. Have a good night. Bye.